Well, hey, mamas. Hello, hello. We are here for study skill number 4 about getting your teen ready for the ACT, the SAT. And our goal today, our study skill for the day, I gave it away, is goal setting. So let me know down below, is your teen set on a certain score for the ACT or SAT? And if you want to share, would love to know. And the next part that we're going to dive into here today is just as important, if not more important, than that goal your teen has. And that is, how did your teen choose that goal? Like, what were the thoughts, decisions that went into settling, picking, choosing that score? Now, before we talk about goal setting and why it's so important to ACT, SAT success for your child, do know I would love to talk with you one-on-one off Facebook, off YouTube, through a free consultation. So there's a link in the bio, in the description. Be sure to book that so we can talk more about your teen study skills, more about the ACT, SAT together for free with your teen. All right, so goal setting. Hopefully you shared that score. Hopefully you've had a chance to think about a little bit, is there a reason my teen wants this score? Now, the reason we need your teen to have a goal is pretty simple. I always, when through my whole study skills program, my Love to Learn program, I always teach goal setting before motivation. And the reason why is simple. Your teen needs to have a goal to be motivated. Okay, you'll notice when you go through this series on YouTube or Facebook, I did not include motivation and goal setting because I'm like, well, which one's more important? And it's simple. Goal setting is more important. Okay. Your teen needs that score in mind. Okay. If he's going for a 36 on the ACT versus a 21, that's a huge difference. Huge difference in composite scores. Okay. Your child's effort needs to be way up here for a 36. Your child's effort for 21 is down here. But that's only, depending on where we started. Maybe your 36 child has taken the ACT 6 times. Something I don't really recommend, but your child's taken it 6 times and he's getting like a 28. Okay, like that was for me. I wanted my 29 really badly. I took it, I think, at least 3 times, not 4 times. Couldn't break through the 28. Okay, I just couldn't do it. Okay. And I know now why. I know I needed a math tutor, and that's a story for another day. But that would have made the difference for me. I know, because I had a 35 in English, 35 in reading, but couldn't get into that 30 zone in math to save my life. But your child, he's taking the ACT lots, wants that 36, lots and lots of efforts required. But his goal says, hey, I'm going to push this hard, do this many practice tests, do this much effort, make this much, time. But your child is going for the 21, maybe he takes it the first time and just gets it without having to do really any practice tests at all. Maybe just like glances at it. Okay. So remember, when we're choosing a goal, we have to think about what we're shooting for, because that's going to determine effort, but it also just determines on where we're starting. Okay. Maybe that 21 student has taken it once, got a 15, and then took it again, got the 21. But maybe that was like 6 practice tests. Okay. Maybe that was a tutor. There's all these things that can go into your teen making that goal a reality. Now, we can break this down further, because another key component to your teen having a goal is we need short-term goals and long-term goals. Okay. We talk more about this in my study skills program, but do know if your child is like a freshman versus your child is a senior in high school, again, big differences here. Hopefully, if you have seniors, mamas, your teen is done with the ACT, SAT. It might not be the case, because I just finished prepping a student for the upcoming ACT, and she's, I believe, a senior, which is a little scary to me. But, maybe she decided college was something she wanted after all, or maybe a scholarship fell through and all of a sudden, she needs that for financial aid. All these different things that can go into it. But do know we got to have a goal. Okay, a goal for composite scores and a goal for each section. Now, the short-term goal could very well be, especially, like I said, if you have an older kiddo, okay, I'm going to take this before finals. That would be a short-term goal. Maybe you've got a middle schooler and your child's already set on, yeah, I'm for sure going to college, or maybe mamas, that's what you want to have happen. Well, it's a bit of a longer-term goal because it's more years out. Okay, so long-term goal might just be simply my child is taking the ACT or the SAT in high school. Okay, and we could break it down more into, sophomore year is kind of the perfect time to take that, or at least, between sophomore and junior year, but definitely way before senior year. Okay, but I want to take it further and not just have your teen have long-term and short-term goals. I want your teen to pick goals that actually can happen. Okay, we don't want your teen to be like a C student and say, I want a 36. Or I don't tutor SAT near as often as ACT, but I believe, 1,600 on the SAT. Maybe your teen just isn't applying himself, isn't trying, doesn't care, doesn't have a goal for school, but yet he's a great test taker. Okay, so that can happen. But at the same time, if your teen is, struggling to get those D's, again, we want to make sure we're matching the goal to what's real, what's possible, because it's just skills. It's just, does your teen have the know-how, meaning the strategies, the content, all these study skills, all these things that go into test taking to get that score he wants. Okay. And I want to talk more about this idea of matching goals, because I got to tell you, sometimes students pick goals for reasons that aren't important, or for things that, for reasons that I wish they would kind of rethink. And I'll share about that in a second. Do know, though, mamas, if you're just now joining me, we're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. I'm Jessyka Coulter, CEO and founder of Jessyka Tutoring. I'm a study skills tutor, so I help teens love to learn through study skills, because they got to know how to learn to love to learn, and studying is the process of learning. So let's talk about matching here. So does your teen have a college picked out? Because when we're talking ACT, SAT, that goal setting, that score is our goal, remember? But then we have certain requirements for certain schools. Okay, maybe the average score for students to get into this one is this. Your teen's goal is to get into that school. Well, then that short-term goal is then to get the score we needed to get into that school. Okay, or it could be like for me, I wanted that 29 so I could get into a vet program, and because I knew that I'd be a full ride scholarship available if I got into the program and I had that score. So maybe that's what your teen's working towards, is a scholarship. Okay. Now, if you're wondering, how does goal setting really provide motivation? It's really simple. Okay. Your teen, when he accomplishes a goal, is encouraged to keep going. Okay. We decide your teen is going to get, a 21. All right. And we make that happen. Maybe your teen, just gets it the first time, or puts in a lot of effort and makes the 21 happen the first time on the ACT. Okay. Well, now your teen's like, I want to do way better on the English section than a 21. Okay. So now we have already made one goal happen. So your teen's like, hey, I'm amazing. I can do this. The confidence is up. Okay. Your teen's feeling pretty powerful. Okay. Well, now your teen's more willing to put the effort in to, say, the English section and get that score up above a 21, which is going to lead to a better composite score, which is amazing. And the cycle can just continue. Okay. But if your teen never challenges himself, never pushes himself to make something happen, well, then what is going to happen? Okay. There's not going to be the motivation. There's not going to be the willingness, the desire to put in that effort. And, the score is just not going to be what your teen could really do. So those are the 4 study skills that I think are absolutely most important of the 12 that I tutor, that I teach teens. We're talking ACT, we're talking SAT, pretty much any standardized test. Okay, it comes down to annotating, which was our very first skill, time management, confidence, and then today's skill, the goal setting. Okay, so if you have questions about those, be sure to drop them here, or even better, ask them in a free consultation. Okay, let's talk about these study skills that your teen is missing that are preventing that score that your teen can get, that your teen wants to get, that your teen might even need to get from actually becoming reality. So thank you so much for watching, mamas. Links in the description so you can book that free consultation so we can talk about study skills and get your teen on the way to getting that score he really wants, maybe needs, or that you want to have happen. Talk to you soon, mamas.